Hi, I'm Sandy. I'm a real estate advisor with Ideal Homes. I'm here with Sasha, who is one of our senior sales consultants.
Yeah, hi there.
And today we're going to talk about investment property and how to choose the best investment, how we can help you with the best investment. And let's start with where to invest in the Algarve.
Well, that's actually a very good question. But, the great thing about the Algarve is that, there are lots of areas in the Algarve that are worth investing in. And, the Algarve, even though it's technically one region, has lots of different characters across the Algarve. So depending upon the kind of lifestyle you might want to have, type of property you might want to have, there are lots of options everywhere, pretty much. But, the Algarve really divided into three main regions. You've got the east, you've got the central, you've got the west. I mean, this is not, there's not a technical division, it's just the way that we describe it. And in the east, there are some nice areas that I think are worth considering. Tavira is a really nice town. We've got some options there. In Cabanas, which is a nice sort of satellite village of Tavira, 5 minutes away, which I think is also worth considering. We've got Fuseta, which is really nice and up-and-coming area, and we've got a fantastic frontline project there, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom project, literally frontline with fantastic sea views, and we've still got some properties there. So, that's the east, and so there are some options there. The east tends to be a little bit flatter geographically than the central and the west, and the beaches are not directly on the coast. They're on these sort of little islands just off the coast where you can
take a ferry.
Exactly, or a little boat.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth
the trip. The beaches are pristine in the east compared to other areas because you have to cross the Ria.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have the central area, and so the central area is really from west of Faro, I think is how you would describe it. And then you've got, for example, the golfing areas of Vila Moura and Vila Sol, and right here in Quinta do Lago and Val do Lobo, where you've got, 10 golf courses. Mm-hmm. You've got a whole range of properties, apartments, townhouses. So we're in a really nice renovated townhouse, and villas as well. So depending upon what your sort of budget is, there are some options here. And then if you carry on going sort of further west, you get to Olhos d'Água, which is a really nice village, and then Albufeira, which is, if you like, the sort of heart of where tourism really got going, and it's got beautiful little old picturesque houses and they're sort of sitting in a basin right by the beach, and there is some good properties for sale there, so that will be another option. It's more of a party town, Albufeira, so if you're sort of a little bit younger and you're more sort of want a vibrant crowd of people, that would be a place to go.
Or the outskirts of Albufeira are actually a bit calmer. You can get to all that busyness if you want to, but you can still be
absolutely
a bit further away, 15, 20 minutes away, and you can still get really, really beautiful property.
Absolutely. And I mean, we don't have to always just be talking about, the coastal region, because you've got inland a little bit. You've got Lolé, you've got Monchique, you've got Algoz. There are golf courses there. And so if you want a little bit away from the crowds, that's also an option. So, everything is available to you. It just depends upon the lifestyle, the kind of lifestyle that you want. And what is the purpose of your purchase? This is going to be very significant, which we'll talk about in a minute. But anyway,
while we're in Albufeira, we have a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's right.
That would work as a great investment. Also, if you want to live there full time or even part time, it's a great apartment. 2-bed, 2-bath, fully furnished. It's got a swimming pool. It's about a 15 to 20 minute walk to a couple of beaches. Amenities all around within walking distance, supermarkets, restaurants, cafes, but it's not in the middle of town where all the busyness is. So it's that what we were just talking about, a little bit further up.
Yeah.
Still a great investment. What was the price on that apartment?
299,500
So
if memory serves me correctly. So it's a good price because it is literally with walking distance to what's called the Strip, which is a long sort of road with lots of bars and restaurants that leads all the way down to the beach. So it's a great location, and certainly would work very well as a rental property because it's the kind of property that the rental market really is looking for.
And a great option if you're looking in the lower end. If your budget is a bit on the lower end, it is at a great price for what it is. It's a really nice apartment.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then if we go further west, then we've got Carvoeiro, which is a really nice fishing village, really nice central sort of core to it, really nice sort of square and lots of restaurants on two sets of roads. And then that is sort of a relatively low density. So the majority of the properties there are villas with some townhouses, and only right in the center of Carvoeiro do you have any sort of apartments at all. So you're looking for something low density, with lots of greenery. That's a good location, and a lot of people that are sort of love Carvoeiro and wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
And we do have on our website, we do have villas and townhouses in that area for investment purposes. So
oh, absolutely.
It's worth having a look.
We've got some good options there. Good options. And then next to Carvoeiro, you've got Portimão, which is the second largest town in the Algarve. It's actually where I live, and I absolutely love it there. It's got all the infrastructure that you'd want in a town with marinas and lots of restaurants and cafes and theatres and
even the amenities.
Absolutely.
Hospitals, private hospital, public hospital. If you're thinking of spending part of the time here and part of the time renting out, it's good to have those amenities within the same town.
Absolutely, and it's very famous for its grilled sardines in the summertime.
Sardine festival.
Absolutely,
in
sardine
August.
festival. Along the promenade there because it's next to a river. And then just on the other side of Portimao, you got this really pretty fishing village of Furugudu. I mean, it's very famous. Lots of postcards of Furugudu, and you can take a little taxi boat across from Portimao into Furugudu. So you've got that really, a town with all the facilities there, quite busy. But you then take a short hop across the river to this really nice sleepy fishing village. So lots of options there, and we've got a nice property on the market there. Actually, very close to the river, very close to the promenade. Not right next to, but round the corner from lots of restaurants and cafes, and that is a three-bedroom,
beautiful three-bedroom apartment.
Absolutely, ground floor with a really nice pool. You've got your own underground garage space. You're very well put together, really good, well located, spacious, and that is 365,000 euros. So if you're looking for something right on the edge of a town, that would really work very well for you, and will generate you some good rental income as well.
Especially due to the location.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then next, so we got Alvar, which is a really nice, pretty fishing village, which is, probably the most pretty fishing village there is in the Algarve. But we don't have so many properties there, unfortunately, because it's very difficult to get anything. We're working hard. Coming soon. We're working hard on getting some good properties there. And then about a 15-minute further along, we've got the famous town of Lagos, where we've featured quite a few developments, and we've had a lot of clients buy into units in Lagos. The Dona II one, which is right next to the marina. There's still, believe it or not, 2 or 3.
Adego, which we sold out as well, which is just across from Dona Maria.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we still got 2 or 3 units in Dona Maria II, including a penthouse unit. So that, it's 1.15 million for that one, but it's a spectacular apartment, 3-bed, 3-bath with a private roof terrace and jacuzzi, and you're getting a spa with an inside heated pool, sauna, gymnasium, and jacuzzi,
and that
an outside
rooftop
pool.
Jacuzzi, 360-degree views. So
absolutely.
Not only views of the beach in the town, but also views of the mountains to the back.
Absolutely.
The Montjuic Mountains. So it's an amazing
So
development.
if you're really into having the very best of everything apartment investment-wise, where you never need to use your car, this is a very good option. And then we've got Santa Maria 2, of course. We've still got, I think, something like 15 units left there, some with spectacular sea views.
We've got duplexes.
And we've got duplexes, which are like a standard 2 bedrooms, but then you walk through an internal staircase up to a large roof terrace with an extra room, which could be another living room. It's set up to have a bathroom there and some storage and so on. And that's offering you spectacular sea views. And those are on the market. I think there are 4 of them left. There were 2 3-beds, but they've gone, and there are 4 2-beds. I think all 4 are still left, but don't quote me on that. And they are, I think, 1.03 million and 1.05 million, depending upon which they are. But that's very, very high-end quality, everything, but spectacular sea views. So, if you're wanting the very best, that is another option. And then we've got something which we haven't started constructing yet, Dona Ana, which is close to the beach in Lagos. Same developer as Adega and Dona Maria II. And, that's been very much in demand. I think we've still got three units left. Those are 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. With an outside pool, underground car parking, and so on. Very large terraces, a rooftop terrace offering you 360-degree views. You're sort of walking distance to sort of 7 or 8 beaches. I mean, it
depends on the distance. If you're counting 15 to 20 minutes, I've counted 10 different beaches.
Right.
15 to 20 minutes, you can walk to 10 different beaches. Right. So. Okay.
And then it's only sort of 15 minutes max to walk into the center of Lagos. So that is another option.
Or you can take a bus. There's a bus stop right by the development.
I didn't know that.
So if you don't want a car, don't want to rent a car, don't want to buy a car, there's a bus stop right next to the development that will take you into the center of town. So, yeah.
And then we've got something else, actually, which we're sort of putting together right now. It's 3 2-bedroom penthouses in Porto de Mós, which is one area of Lagos right by the beach. And we've got 3 2-bedroom penthouses that can be sold individually. The list price of those is 409,500 for 2 of them, and the other one, which is identical, has some extra windows, so it's 419,500. They're all fully furnished, good quality, about 10 years old. They've been in the rental market. They actually were built originally by the same developer as Adega and Dona Maria II, but a few years back. Nice pool, literally just a 5-minute walk into to the beaches. And so you could buy those individually. There may be a little bit of a price drop, negotiation possible, or he will be willing to sell all 3 together. And so the purchase price listed for those 3 together is 1.238,500,000, if I memory serves me correctly. But if you buy them together, I could get it for less than 1.1 million, which is sort of like a 11 or 12% discount, maybe a little bit more. And these work really well for the rental market. You might need to replace a little bit of the furniture here and there because it's being used, but not very much.
They're in beautiful condition.
Beautiful condition. Very little needs to be done, and you could start running a rental program there
right away.
Very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then going on from there, you've got the nice golf course. So Lagos has 2 golf courses, one called Palmares on the eastern side, which is a beautiful, beautiful golf course. I'm not a golfer, but in terms of the views, it's really good. And then on the other side, you've got Boa Vista, which is a nice golf course. Then you've got several villages from there all the way up to the far west coast. You've got Praia da Luz, you've got Burgao, you've got Salema. These are more sleepy fishing villages. If you really want to escape from everything, that's the place to go. So we have properties in all of these locations to a greater or lesser extent, and we've got a large listings team that are going out there hunting for properties. But the property market has been very strong, as you know, in the last few years.
And we didn't expect COVID to shoot it up to where it's gotten.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the Algarve has always been a very much an in-demand location, property-wise, and as a place to hang out, just for holidays and so on. And I think from about 2012 to 2019, the average property values rose something like 7 to 8, 9% per year. And of course, COVID hit in 2019, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Obviously, everyone was feeling negative about that in the real estate business. Right. On the contrary, the actual property values rose. Well, it didn't rise by 8 or 9%, but they rose by 6% even in 2019 and 2020. And in 2021, property values rose, I think, something like 12%. So, the market is very strong, and it's likely to remain strong for the foreseeable future because building regulations are very tight. You can't just sort of build anywhere you want. The majority of locations are sort of green zones, agricultural land or ecological land, and basically you just can't build on that. You can't build within, I think it's 750 meters of the beach water. Now. Yeah. So yes, there are some new constructions coming along in urban plots and so on, but relative to demand, demand is always going to be outstripping supply. So, if you're looking to find a brand new property already built, right, ready, especially if we're talking about apartments, ready to go, it's very difficult, really, because pretty much everything gets sold out before the project is completed.
Yeah. We've seen that many a time. We had a conversation the other day, and we were talking about investment, and we were talking about rental returns versus capital appreciation. Because we have a lot of people that buy new because of the capital appreciation. Not only will you stand to make a good ROI per year, but the capital appreciation is also really important if you're looking at an investment that will make you the most. Why don't you share your thoughts? Because we did have a bit of a discussion about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're selecting the right kind of property, and what is the right kind of property? If it's sort of a modern contemporary 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment, walking distance to a town with really nice facilities, everything really nicely set up with large terraces. This is the kind of thing that is very much in demand, right? So on the one hand, it'll generate you good rental income, significant rental income if you're selecting the right kind of town, because of course the Algarve is a seasonal place, right? You've got a high season, a mid-season, and you've got a low season. So if you're selecting the right place, which is busy throughout the year because it's a town which has got lots of shops and restaurants open throughout the year, not only can you be generating good rental income in the summertime, especially if there are golf courses, because high season for golf is sort of mid-season here.
Exactly.
So you're going to also have a golfing market. And then, and if it's in a nice town, then of course you're also going to be generating weeks in the winter time, right? Yeah. So that's the kind of property that's going to generate you the best rental income that you can have anywhere in the Algarve. But also, if you select right for the right kind of properties, you're also going to be getting good capital appreciation. I mean, very good capital appreciation. If you buy something which is ready to go now, right, you're going to be getting that average capital appreciation that we were talking about, that sort of 7 or 8% or 10% or whatever it might be in 2022, 2023. Plus, of course, the rental income. But if you're buying something which is under construction, you're buying at a lower price to begin with, right? So, and you're not having to cough up all the money to buy that property, right? It's 20% or 30% or something to begin with. And you can expect over a sort of a 20-month time frame for the build for that property to rise in value by the amount that you put down. So you're effectively doubling your money down in that time. So you've got that advantage. Of course, you can't generate the rental income until the property is completed. So you've got
But
a little
it's
bit of
already generating income while it's being built.
Absolutely, from the capital
And then you can
appreciation
generate
side.
rental income.
So if you select right, you can actually realize more on the investment from the capital appreciation than from the rental income. So over sort of a 5 or a 10-year period, you could. Over a 10-year period, you could be doubling your money, basically.
We do have clients that have done that. They've purchased something in pre-construction, hung on to it for a couple of years,
Absolutely.
and then flipped it, moved on to the next new project. So we have people that do that.
Absolutely.
On a regular basis.
I'll give you a good example. A client of one of my colleagues at Ideal Homes sold a 3-bedroom property, no, 2.5-bedroom property, 2+1, near the beach in Porto de Moj, from the same developer as Adega, same sort of quality as the Adega project, and he purchased it something like 9 months out from completion at 450,000 euros. And then he sold it to a client of mine last year for, I think. Sorry, a client of ours. Exactly, a client of ours. I think it was a doctor or a lawyer or something from Germany.
Yes.
And was 660 or 670,000 euros. So we're talking about 200,000 euro uptick in capital appreciation, and he was generating substantial income. I think it was something like on the order, because he had friends and family coming in some of the time, so he didn't max out the rental possible.
And he did spend some time here himself.
Yeah.
So he did spend like a few stretches.
But it was
himself,
something
so
like,
he could have generated much more than he did.
But it was something like 35,000 euros a year,
which is still
in
substantial.
Rent, which is substantial, absolutely. So, everybody has their own objectives, right? So, if you are an investor, there is a definite number of your boxes you want to be ticking, right? If you really wanted to max out the rental and capital appreciation side. But of course, some people are looking more for a holiday home for themselves, and they want a certain type of thing and a certain location, and then they want to generate some rental income to pay off their, sort of ongoing costs and so on, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And of course, other people are looking to live here full time, in which case a rental income and maybe even capital appreciation doesn't really come into it. So, all of these things are available, and Ideal Homes are experts in being able to understand, your needs and source you the right kind of property for your needs.
Let's talk about the apartments, because there is a sweet spot with the rentals, which are the 2 bedrooms. We're seeing 3 bedrooms are also starting to increase in terms of demand. And there's the T2+1, which you mentioned before. And I have a lot of people that ask me, what about a T2+1? So legally, you can only rent it out as a 2-bedroom apartment, correct?
That's right. So the way it works is like this. You can get a rental license based on what is the number of designated official bedrooms in a property. Now, you can also have a sofa bed in the living room, which allows you to sleep 6. So you can have a 2-bedroom property to sleep 6. If you have a T2+1, now that +1 isn't necessarily a smaller room at all. Right. In fact, it's really to do with the fact that when a developer gets planning permission to build on a certain plot size, the local council will only allow him to designate X number of bedrooms as the cap for that plot size. Now, if he's got a clever architect, he can create more rooms, but he has a defined cap on the number of bedrooms that he can have. So it looks like a bedroom, it's got fitted wardrobes like a bedroom, you can use it personally as a bedroom. What you can't do is advertise it for sale as a 3-bed.
Right.
You can't rent it out as a 3-bed, right? You can only rent it out as a 2-bed. Right. But it's not really very much of a compromise, because, for example, that extra room you could have as a games room, as a cinema room. So there are ways around to add value to that property if you go for a T2+1.
Furnish it as a bedroom, because I would find it, if I were away on holiday with, say family of 5, family of 6, I would rather have one person in the bedroom and not disrupt the living area. So that becomes really appealing to a family to get a T2+1 versus a T2. So, when people ask me about that, I always explain it is a good option.
Yes. So if you're buying a T2 or buying a T2 plus one or buying a T3, the devil's in the detail here, and it's not inherently that the two-bedroom will perform better than a T2 plus one or a T3, because a T3, in the summertime, right, there will be larger groups of people coming who are looking to be renting a T3, and you can charge the price accordingly for that. In the wintertime, you have smaller groups of people who are more likely to be gravitating towards a T2, but you can still have the T3 rented out as a T2, but just sort of closing off one of the doors. So it's not as if you can't rent it out as a T2 because you've got it as a T3. So, all of these things work, because it may be that, you want a T3 because that's what you need for your personally for yourselves, and you're not really compromising on the rental income if you close off one of those bedrooms in the wintertime. Yeah.
Let's talk about another one. There's another question I get asked a lot, and I think it would be nice for us to talk about it, is sea view versus pool view versus no view in terms of rentals.
Well, again, the devil's in the detail. What's the price? What's the purchase price?
Exactly.
So this is what counts, right? Because your rental yield will be based on, the purchase price, the facilities, the location, the views, all of these things go into defining what is the appropriate nightly charge for that property. But, your rental yield, your gross rental yield, your net rental yield will also be determined by the original purchase price of the property. So, if it's a property which has stunning sea views, generally speaking, there is a significant premium to pay on those. And you may not get it back in extra rental income, right? But if you have the view that you want the stunning sea views and you're prepared to compromise a little bit on your rental yield, and it's not as if it's necessarily a big amount. It's just not it won't necessarily give you the best rental yield. And of course, if you have a pool view property, especially one which has direct access to the pool, they tend to be, the lower apartment, lower floored units tend to be cheaper than higher floored units, right? So if you have a lower floored unit which has direct access to the pool, that is also a very good option if you are considering the rental yield that you're looking to get, right? So, but the devil's in the detail here, right? So, we can, when we're talking to you about, particular properties and so on, we can put together a spreadsheet which gives you an extrapolation of the kind of rental income that you can generate from a property, plus the capital appreciation over a 5-year period. And, we can compare and contrast, right? So, you may say, well, I'm interested in that property, but I'm also interested in that property. Give me the figures for those two properties, and we can put together those two figures for you, so you'll be able to make a sort of informed decision.
Before moving forward.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Agree. So, I think we've covered a lot. Why don't we cover, so somebody's bought property. We have this happen very frequently. Somebody's bought an investment property, and what now? What's the next step? I'm not going to be in the country. How do I do this? How do I take care of this?
Well,
do it for you.
yeah, absolutely. So Ideal Homes has all the services that you're ever going to need to look after your property for you. So, in summary, if anything you can conceive of that you think you might need as a property owner, Ideal Homes will be able to provide you with that service, right? From the organizing a mortgage if you're looking for a mortgage, from looking after your property if you're not looking, for example, to generate rental income, a rental program. We will put together a bespoke rental program, for you. Depending upon what your needs are, how much you want to rent it out for. We do the sort of the meeting and greeting of the clients. We'd organize in conjunction furniture suppliers to furnish the property, who are experts in kitting out a property fully. based on what you need, whether it's a rental property or if it's a personal use property, and just basically looking after every aspect of that. Opening up bank accounts, because you're going to need to open up a bank account if it's for a mortgage, for you need a tax number. Yeah. All of these things, and it all might sound complicated when I'm sort of mentioning them all now, a whole list of things, yeah. But really it isn't that complicated, and we will sort of lead you throughout the whole process. We want to make our clients feel very comfortable buying with Ideal Homes. That's why we are not just a traditional real estate agency, because 99% of the real estate agents in the Algarve are just real estate agents, and they'll let you get on with it after that. But we've taken the view that if we can provide all of these other services, as backup, then clients are more inclined to buy properties with us than elsewhere. So
and we've done it ourselves. I mean, we've all moved here from different countries, so we've all been through
sure,
bumps in the road and mistakes that we've made that we've learned from. So of course we're going to help you avoid making those same mistakes. Sure. And like Sasha said, I mean, if we don't have it in-house, we can outsource it for you. Sure. Everything, even tax experts.
Absolutely.
Helping get licenses in
Absolutely.
place. I mean, again, it seems very, it seems like there's a lot going on, but it all runs very smoothly from the point where you actually call us and start talking to us up until the point where we're renting out your property. So
yeah, absolutely. So I think that's it. I think we've covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Sasha or one of our team in the office. We've got a great team, everybody ready to step in and help you find the best option for your personal goals. So reach out to us.
Thank you very much.